Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdullah Hammad from the platform of Pakistan Connect. Today, over here, we have someone who is an orchestrator, who is a navigator, who is a leader, who started her career from the textile industry, started working with an American company. But right now, she has, in 2025, she has worked with almost all of the corporates that are well known, renowned, and not just on any position, but on top positions. She has been in the founding committee of Pakistan Super League, which has recently completed a decade. She is a mother, she is a woman. We over here have Naila Bhatti. Hi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. क्या हाल है आपका?
I'm fine, thank you.
Starting with your career, you have always had bosses who have been supportive, as you have said. How have you navigated your career, and what motivated you to come into corporate?
Actually, I didn't start my career with textiles. I started my career as a teacher
Okay.
in Lahore Grammar School.
As far as I could research, so that was.
So that's where I started, and then taught young girls. And from there, I joined Levi Strauss.
Yeah.
And had a wonderful boss. And Levi's was just starting out in Pakistan at that time, not as a retail outlet, but as an export business. So we were the initial few employees of Levi's. There wasn't much, there weren't too many people, but that's how we started. And then, of course, it became a very large organization in Pakistan. Then they went into retail. From there, I and my husband set up our own factory for knitwear, and and worked with a lot of American clients, big names. And then, unfortunately, 9/11 happened, and the industry was hit very badly. And then, because of that, we had to pivot from making garments into just doing, fabric. And then there wasn't much for me to do because I used to do the sales there and marketing. So then from there, I joined
Vateen?
And before Vateen, I set up Pakistan's first children's channel, Wicket.
With Salman Tasir.
Mr. Salman Tasir. And I was the chief operating officer. And the idea behind setting up the channel was the same, that I felt very strongly that, when we were growing up, there was PTV, and we had a lot of programming which was intrinsically Pakistani for us. And so we had a very clear idea of identity as Pakistanis. But unfortunately, that stopped, and then there wasn't anything for children. So that was the idea. Again, a fantastic boss, Mr. Salman Tasir. He gave me all the freedom to, launch the channel the way I wanted it to be launched, and a lot of support. And then we launched Wicket, and it was wonderful. Children from all over Pakistan and all schools were involved with us. We did some wonderful programming. Unfortunately, he passed away tragically, and because of that, there were some changes. So then from there, I went into Vateen. And again, that was in kind of the same industry because I was taking care of their cable network. And then from there, I
Came to Pakistan.
came to the Pakistan Cricket Board. Yeah.
And coming to your journey of Pakistan Cricket Board, how has it been? How has the culture of PCB specifically been supportive of a leading woman in the field?
Well, I was there, initially from 2015 till 2020, and then I joined again. After 2 years, I joined again for 2 more years. So,
It has been a love-hate relationship, I'm guessing, because of the gap.
Mr. Najim Sethi was the chairman. He was the one who asked me, initially offered me the job. Again, a wonderful boss. Again, somebody who trusted his team. And that is why we could deliver on PSL. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult. The previous regimes had tried to do something like that, but they had been unable to. It was only because Mr. Sethi had this complete belief and trust in his team that they would deliver, and so that we were eventually able to deliver the Pakistan Super League. And then the 2 years in between that I wasn't at PCB, I was the CEO of Mitchell's.
Yeah, you also worked closely with Duknu Saiba and NS.
With NS again, because he was the chairman of the board.
Yeah.
So I was there, and then came back as league commissioner for the Pakistan Super League for season 8 and 9. So it's been a wonderful. PCB is a wonderful organization to work in. At least when I was there, I don't think there was any discrimination or anything against women. They were given all the respect and due. That was due to us. And I don't
Being in the career and the working field for the past almost 30 years, I would say, and always being a leader in your field, are there any difficulties that you specifically faced?
As a woman.
As a woman, yes.
Actually, this question has been asked of me many times.
Yeah.
And I always respond to it the same way. And sometimes I feel that maybe it is unfair to some women who do face discrimination. Yeah. But Alhamdulillah, I didn't ever. Any kind of harassment or any kind of discrimination or any problem as a woman. As an employee, you have a lot of issues, like all employees have. But it was not distinctly because I was a woman that I was, signaled out, or I was, I faced any kind of problems. I didn't at all. And maybe I was lucky that I had a very good environment wherever I was working. But I didn't have a bad experience.
Your bosses were also, I was going through, while I was researching, so you told about the story about Salman Dasir Saab, in which he snubbed the CEO of another organization who is currently a very renowned journalist, who you wouldn't want to name.
No, but attitude hota hai na ki she's a woman, and Salman was, a very, very proper businessman. He was running a lot of businesses. He knew, and a lot of women were in leading positions in his organization. So he was a very upright man, and I didn't take so much offense to it as he did.
So that's a good thing when you're getting it from the top. Coming to the recent experience which you have had at Pakistan Cricket Board and PSL, or going to the previous one, do you think Pakistan or Pakistanis have been able to do justice with PSL, the product which was, meant to be Pakistan's pioneer product, which was meant to make headlines and whatnot? Has the committee as well as the Pakistani crowd done justice to that?
I think when we launched, of course, it was fantastic. And since then, another team was added, and it was added at nearly 3 times the price that the first 5 teams had been sold at. The title sponsorship was at a much higher price. All the sponsorships were better. So I think financially it was doing well, and it was doing well because, the brand was getting stronger by the, every year the brand was getting stronger. We were getting better players. And then the biggest thing, of course, our goal when we launched in Dubai was to move PSL back to Pakistan. So that, alhamdulillah, happened, that we could move the entire tournament back to Pakistan, which gave a big boost, I think, to the brand value, because it was in Pakistan. It has faced criticism because of sometimes, crowds not coming in. Specifically in Karachi, I think we've had a problem that the crowds were not there sufficiently.
And throughout the years, we have seen this.
And maybe in other cricket matches also. When I was heading it, and we tried to try and find out what were the reasons we would because for us it was very important to find out. And at that time, I think what we realized was that maybe Karachi, the stadium was not that accessible to people. I think that is now being, those things are being rectified from what I hear. The stadium has already, some upgradation has happened. I've heard more is happening. So I think accessibility was an issue. And sometimes I also feel that maybe where the stadium is situated, maybe that was also, we actually could not come up with a with a reason, that why doesn't the crowd in Karachi show up? They would come for the semi-finals or the final and all, but not on every day. Another reason that I can think of is that maybe the people in Karachi work very hard. They don't want to, they're very tired by the end of the day. They want to go home instead of watching a T20 match in the evening. I actually have yet to really pinpoint what is the reason.
Perfect. Being in the sales and the marketing team and leading the team, we've seen that when PSL came to Pakistan specifically, each and every franchise owner as well as the franchise administration were always boosting it that, while the league comes back to the country, every sponsor is going to come and going to invest into teams. But we saw otherwise. We saw several teams struggling with getting sponsorships and whatnot. Do you think that the PCB could have played a role in this or not?
No, I don't think it was PCB alone that could have played a role in it. I think PCB's job, the team at PCB, their job is to hold the tournament.
Yes.
To ensure that the tournament is held in a manner which is, safe for the players, which is entertaining, which is, they provide all the facilities, everything. And I think that the PCB does a great job of that. The franchises are all taken care of. They are all looked after. So I don't think that is the issue. I think a little bit has to do with the economic situation of the country also. Because when your economy is not doing well, then the brands, their marketing budgets are cut short. They don't have, enough money to spend. And I think that is also a very big reason. Unfortunately, when the tournament moved back to Pakistan, it was around the same time that the economy started, not doing very well.
Yeah.
And that, of course, has an impact on the commercial aspect of it, because the people who are spending money are basically your commercial companies. And if their profits and their margins are being hit, then the first thing that gets cut is the marketing budget.
Yeah.
So I think that was unfortunate, but I don't think it has anything to do with the brand itself. The brand is very strong. And I think most of the commercial partners, they gain a lot from being, attached to the brand.
So do you think the next decade, with the record-breaking viewership and whatnot, is going to be much more easier for PSL, or is it going to get difficult? Both in the aspect of brand value as well as the commercial value.
I don't know. From what I hear, 2 more teams are going to be added, and so the brand should actually grow. And if they put on more venues, when you add more venues, then what happens is that the number of matches in a certain city become less. So there are more people coming because there's a sense of we miss out. And in the new cities that you're going to, people want to come and watch. So I think that way it may increase the ticket revenue definitely, and even I think the number of matches might also increase with 2 new teams. But it all goes hand in hand. If PSL is not a standalone thing which is separate from Pakistan itself. Whatever the sentiment in Pakistan is, it's going to be reflected into anything that has to do with Pakistan, right? So, and Pakistan Super League is Pakistan's league. So if the sentiment in the country is not positive, and if the economy is not going up, if people are not feeling happier, then of course the brand is impacted. Like everything else is impacted. So it has nothing to do with per se just PSL. It has a lot to do with overall what the situation in the country is.
Well, your time at PCB specifically, were there any talks about Pakistan Super League, Women League being held or not? And do you think any concrete step is going to be taken?
I don't know. When we were there, the last PSL 8, we actually had a mini we had 3 matches for women's teams, because the next step was going to be to launch the women's league, and the franchises themselves, the current franchises, they were interested in buying the women's teams also. So I think that talk was going on, but unfortunately the leadership changed, and then the priorities changed, and this is what happens in organizations.
But in the coming years, would you see a PSL women happening?
I hope so. I would hope so. Yeah, definitely. Because there is a lot of room for that also.
Okay, perfect. Coming to the hot question, which is right now going over social media and whatnot, you have completely the right to, have no comment on that. But what Ali Tareen is doing to the brand right now, do you think this should have been done behind closed doors, or was there, because obviously you've worked in the company and you will have sources and whatnot, there were initiations as well as deliberations by both the parties to do it behind closed doors. But eventually, now that it has come out in public, what do you think about it, and should it have been done or not?
Actually, it's very unfortunate what has happened. It's not good for the brand,
Yeah.
of course. Both parties need
Yeah.
to reconcile and resolve the issues. I actually don't know what exactly happened and what transpired and what why PCB sent him a notice and what. I mean, I don't know the entire story, so I really can't comment on it. But yes, of course, it impacts the brand, and I hope that it will be resolved amicably and that they can take it forward from there. That's all I can say.
One sentence you could say about Pakistan Super League completing the decade and the whole decade, if you had to explain in one sentence, what would you say?
I think it's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Absolutely, because we didn't think when we started it, the amount of issues that we had and the problems and the situation in Pakistan, it is actually dedicated hard work of all the people who were involved with the league, the franchisees themselves, the players, the foreign players. Every single one person has contributed to make it come to where it has come, and I hope that it just rises from here.
Before the next decade starts, would we see Naila Bhatti again in PSL or PCB or not? And why? Would you be a part or not be a part of it?
I think I have contributed,
Enough.
but I had to contribute.
But wasn't it
And-
your baby child and your teen's
It
baby child?
was a joint effort, I would say. The talk of PSL had been going on for quite a while
Yeah.
in the PCB.
Yeah.
They weren't being able to do it. Then Mr. Jim Sethi got this team together and said, let's do it. And then, we hired some foreign consultants. And so I think the reason that it happened was that this particular team under Mr. Sethi believed in it. So when you believe in something and when the cause is very strong, so the entire team's reason to doing it was very strong. The reason was that our players were being signaled out for not being allowed to take part in the IPL, and we felt that we should have something of our own, and why can't we provide that? So the issue was about Pakistan, and the issue was about putting Pakistan on the map and doing something for the country. And I think that is the reason that it happened, because everybody had this one single kind of goal, that we have to do it because we have to showcase to the world that Pakistan can do it too.
And definitely Pakistan has done it. Coming to the financial part of PSL specifically, being in the team, being the commissioner as well as in the marketing team and the sales team, do you think it has contributed positively towards it?
Oh yes, of course. Why not? When matches happen, then there's a whole infrastructure, there's a whole ecosystem around the matches, that kind of economically gives rise to a lot of activity. And that is one of the reasons that it was important that we bring it back to Pakistan, because we wanted the people to be involved. We wanted, the brands that are Pakistani brands to be able to reach their audiences through that. So I think, yes, there's a lot of economic activity that goes on. The hotels, they make money, the players are staying there, people are coming from abroad and staying there, the television crews, people are getting jobs. So there's a lot that happens when
Perfect. Coming back to Naila Bhatti now. So what is that one thing which keeps you going in life?
I think, which I propagate to my children also and to everybody, is that, you have to have a goal in life, you have to have an aim in life, you have to be, and I think the biggest thing is to be able to contribute to society. So I think my aim in every job, other than, of course, making money and getting a salary, which everybody, has the right to, is also to contribute positively. And I think that one aspect is very important, that why are you doing what you're doing, whether it's teaching, whether it is, working for a organization in any form or way, whether you're launching something, a channel like I did, there was always this that yes, this is also going to have a positive impact on society at large. And I think that unfortunately is what is missing in a lot of things that people do, or maybe it is not being taught to the young people. There is suddenly we have when I talk to youngsters and all, I feel this this Western attitude of me being foremost. Now, this is a very Western concept. It is not a concept that is culturally ours. We, as a people, believe in family, believe in society collectively. We believe that, as a village, we all have responsibilities. But that has changed. The individual has become more important, unfortunately. So when that happens, you become selfish. And it's not the fault of the children who are now growing up. It's the fault of us that we have not provided them the right guidance, the right role models, to do that. And I think that is what is very, very important. And that is what has driven me always, that to be able to contribute. And I think when I see the negativity that is going on in Pakistan, sometimes, you hear so many negative things, whether it is TV channels, whether it is social media, whether it is whatever form of media. So the headlines are always negative. Very few people highlight the positives of Pakistan. And I feel that there are a lot of positives to be highlighted. And when you highlight the positives, then that takes on a life of its own. One positive leads to another, and leads to another. I'm a very strong believer in energy. So I feel that if everybody in Pakistan were to be positive, the energy around the country would be very positive.
There won't be any problem at all.
Not at all, because there's always two ways to look at things. Of course, the problems are going to be there. You're going to have economic problems. We have major since the war with India, we have security issues. We have all these problems. We can have social unrest. All these things are there. But then, on the other hand, there are a lot of other things also that are very positive, about the country. So I just feel that there's a responsibility to people who are out who are socially more accessible, or who have who are in the media, or who in any form or way, to try and highlight the positives too. I'll give you an example. When 9/11 happened, the textile industry was hit very badly, and even though we had nothing to do with it, but somehow the perception was that Pakistan has become unsafe. And we had to explain to our American buyers that how far away Lahore is from Kabul. We are thousands of miles away, or whatever, and we had to. So around that time, we invited the US ambassador at that time to come and visit one of the factories. So the US media also came. And there was this journalist from CNN, and that particular day, there were about 10-15 people outside the Governor House who were burning the American flag. And at that time, and that was all over CNN. But nothing else was happening. The city was calm, there was no protest, everybody was going about their business, everything was open. So I asked this journalist, I said, why are you showing this? You know that this is not a big deal. It is just 10 people.
Yeah.
And he said, that's news. That's why we are showing it. And people going about their work normally, that's not news. Why should we show that? And I had this big argument with him that you're impacting the entire, people sitting abroad. We had family members calling us and saying, is everything okay in Lahore? Because of that little small thing.
Right.
So that is how it is important to highlight positives instead of negatives.
Lastly, ma'am, I would want to ask you this. You've always portrayed Pakistan's positivity, and we have seen that you've worked through MNCs, NCs as well, and whatnot in the corporate, and always highlighted the positive culture. Do you think Pakistan has progressed in the aspect of providing opportunities and having the opportunities for women? And your message for the youngsters in the country, specifically women?
I think down more than when I had started working. I think more than that, I see a lot more women and girls in the work environment. They're all working. Even currently, where I am, working, it's a technology company, an American company owned by my brother, but the back office is here. So even there are a lot of girls, girls coming into the tech industry also, and I see them in all industries. So I don't think there's any discrimination as such. If you go around, what a wonderful thing I see is that there are so many coffee shops opening up, so many restaurants opening up. So you see girls working there also, side by side with men. So I don't think there's any discrimination in that way. But I do, the message that I do want to give to the youngsters is that, look at the positives of what the country has to offer, and try and always contribute. In whatever form or way, contribute towards society in a positive way, because whatever little you give doesn't have to be monetary or material giving. Even if you give a positive energy, it comes back to you multifold in many times, and new doors open and new opportunities come. Because when you're positive, you attract positivity. When you're negative, you're going to attract negativity. And believe me, I've experienced it. So it is very important and problems will come, issues will arise, but it is how you look at the problems, how you try and solve them. There's always a way to solve problems. So I just feel that that is important. And by nature, we Pakistanis are a very resilient nation. We have gone through such upheavals, and yet we still stand strong today, So I don't think so that there's anything to be that negative about.
Perfect. On this positive note of be positive and highlight positivity, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.